Okay, so I genuinely cannot focus on anything today. Um, because my drawing teacher lets us play music in class, and she lets us play music like out loud for our classmates to hear. Um, and I haven't sorted out my playlist to get rid of all the songs that really should not be allowed to play in school. I took off the more problematic ones because those were the first ones that caught my eye. I was like, oh, can't have this one over here. Um, but I haven't sorted out the entire playlist, so still working on that, so it couldn't be the one playing music. So it was one of my classmates who was the one playing music today, and uh, I kid you not, I got out of PE like so happy because you know how your brain, actually likes physical activity, um, and but hates starting. But then when you start, you're like, this is so fun. I should do this all the time. And the day after, you're like, I'm never walking again. that. Um, so yeah, so I got out of PE with so much energy and I was feeling so good. Um, um, because we ended the class on like, um, what are these things called? What are these things called? Whatever. We ended the class on an exercise with like two sets of 20. Or like, okay, cool. And we were like, wait, hold on, that's a lot. And he was like, that's half of what you have to do if you want to pass that test. And we're like, okay. So we did it, and I was the last one to finish because I am slow at literally everything. But most of my classmates would do it like halfway up and then go back down immediately. I would always do the full thing. Um, so so I was the last one to finish, and my teacher, coach, whatever, and like half of my class was just hyping me up at the end, and that feels good. So I got out of PE. I got out of PE like so fucking happy. Um, and then I got to drawing class, and they started playing music, and everything, like my whole energy, my ability to focus, everything gone. um and it wasn't just the music, because before that, I realized that I didn't bring the object that I was supposed to be drawing, because we were supposed to be like bringing an object and we have to look at it and draw it, and my object was a little froggy. And I really like the little froggy. My grandma gave it to me, and I was like 5, so I could put my toothbrush and toothpaste in it. And now I use it like as a money bank. I just put coins in it, and I have like €5 in it. Whatever. Um. So yeah, my object was a little froggy. Um, and I forgot to bring it. And I was like, what the fuck am I gonna draw now? So I drew my car. I decided, yeah, I'm just gonna draw my car keys. Um, so that's what I did. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to draw the froggy, but I forgot to bring him. So no froggy. So it started there. Then the music. Oh my god. It wasn't bad music. It was just music that I don't like, and I seriously, the day was ruined from that point on. Like I was gone. Like I could not focus on anything. The worst drawings I've ever made. Um, and it was so bad. It got so bad. I did two drawings and I barely finished one. Um, and like it was awful because the music was on, and the girls who were playing it like at the front, they were having so much fun, and I was just I was completely unable to focus. I was just like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, please turn it off. Um, and my some of my other classmates, they have kind of a similar style of like music that they listen to me. Uh, I mean, not really similar, but more alternative than what they were listening to, which would have been easier for me, um, a little bit, But that didn't happen. But they and those people were making fun of them for the music, um, and I couldn't even do that. I would have, but I I I couldn't even do that. Like my brain just couldn't do anything because I don't know what it was about that music that threw me off so much, but I just couldn't focus on anything. It was awful. Um and and yeah, so like I that was awful. And then we went to like art workshop class, which was with the same teacher as drawing class. So they were allowed to play music again. Um, but they weren't playing music for most of the thing, so that helped me be able to kind of do what we were supposed to do in that class. But we had a group project to like present that day, um, and uh, the guy who was the guy who was doing the group project with me first didn't bring the stuff for the group project. Like I did my stuff and all we had to do was glue the stuff onto the paper and he was in charge of that part. I had my stuff ready. Literally just had to glue it on. Um and he didn't bring the stuff and I was like, "Okay, cool, that's fine." I didn't say it with this tone, but like I acted like it was fine, like but then he said something really dismissive about it, like he went like it's not like I give a fuck or anything. um and I was very put off because I really like this teacher and she's really cool. There's the music thing, but that's cool too. It's not her fault that music that I don't like makes me completely unable to do anything at all. um so okay, so his attitude that was really dismissive, and I didn't like it because I like the teacher and I wanted to do a good job for that teacher uh because the classes that I don't care about are the ones where I don't like the teachers. If I like the teachers, I will try to do my best. Um, and that resulted in last year me not being able to do a single research paper for art history because I wanted it to be perfect, but I cannot do research papers well. And if it wasn't perfect, then it wasn't good enough for that teacher because she is awesome and I miss her a lot. Um, so I simply could not do it. I would sit down, try to write it, I would do all the research, and I was like, okay, time to write the paper. Can't. Why? You just can't. You're just not good enough at that, so you shouldn't be doing it. But I have to. This is for my grades. Yeah. And it's not good enough. I was like, but it's better to have something than to have nothing. And my brain is like, no, because not doing it means that you didn't fail because you didn't do it. If you do it wrong, you failed. It's like, yeah, sure, brain, whatever. Um, and I really tried to get over that, like so many times, but throughout the entire year, I could not do a single research project. I would always do the presentations, and my teacher would always say that I made the best presentations in class, and they were always so fun and so interactive, and I always answered questions at the end. And one time I put an Epic the Musical to time myself. I literally said, okay, so I am presenting, my presentation is on a painting of Circe, so I'm gonna be playing There Are Other Ways in the background because that is the time that I know that is good enough to talk about the things that I need to talk about. And I know this song well enough to know how much time has passed, like instinctively, because minutes and seconds aren't instinctive to me, but a song is. I was like, okay, it's in this part of the song, so it's been enough time for me to move on to something else, because then I don't have enough time to talk about everything, so I need to move on to the next topic. And there was also the okay, I need to talk a little bit more about this, because then if I move on now, I would have a bunch of time at the end and I would not know what to do with it, and I would just kill the entire presentation. So I timed myself with the song because it's better for me than like a stopwatch, because I have no concept of what minutes and seconds are. I am completely time blind. Like, if you asked me how long it would take me to clean my entire living room, I would probably tell you 10 minutes. Um, but if you asked me how many songs it would take me to clean the living room, I would probably go like 7 or 8, depending on what songs they are. And that is, if you like notice, most songs that I listen to are like 3.5, 4 minutes long on average. So that's not 10 minutes. And I know that, like logically, but instinctively, if you asked me to give you an answer right away, I'd say 10 minutes. Yeah, sure. And then 10 minutes later, I'd be like, it's been 10 minutes. That's not 10 minutes. That's not what 10 minutes are. Um, you know, that's too. But anyway, that's not what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I completely went off topic. So, I always want to do my best for a teacher that I like. And seeing him be so dismissive of something that the teacher asked us to do um, was like, it just, it, you know, it really, it felt off to me. Like, I was like, I don't like that. Um, and then the teacher came in and she asked us if we had, done the project. And I looked at her like so sad, and she was like, "Oh, you didn't." But her face was, "You didn't, but something happened." I was like, "No," and she was like, "Oh, you did." Like my face was like, and she was like, "Oh, you didn't, but something happened. It's not you didn't because you didn't want to." But then she looked at him, and he was like, "No." It was like, and she was like, "Okay, so this is confusing. What the hell happened?" Um, and then she asked, and I couldn't talk, because I literally felt like I was disappointing her like so bad that I went nonverbal. um, so he was the one who had to say it, and he was like, "Yeah, I left the stuff at home. I forgot my stuff at home." And she was like, "Oh, okay, but it was due today." And I was like, and he was like, "Yeah." And then, like, conversation ended there, I think. My memory isn't great. but I think like she tried to like talk about it more. But then another one of my yes, another one of my classmates came in, and she was like, teach. I was with some friends who were art students here last year, but now they're in college. I was with them this weekend, and I told them about you, and I showed them your Insta page, and they went nuts. They said that they had really wanted you as a teacher, and they are gonna skip one day of college just to come in and see how you are as a teacher because they think you're really cool. She was like, oh, that's so sweet. But you know, a person isn't defined by their work. You did just from showing them my Insta page, they don't know how I am as a person. And she's like, "Oh, I know. That's why I told them everything about you that you've been doing with us and how cool you are." She was like, "Oh, you think I'm cool?" And she was like, yeah." And I was like, "Mm-hmm." um, and then I don't remember exactly what happened. Like, but the conversation kept going on, and I was listening. I was listening. If I was told to um but to say what they were talking about, I could probably say it in the moment. Right now, no, because my memory is weird like that. Because I can say half of a conversation in detail, but the other half I do not remember. I'm not even sure it happened. I don't like my brain. Anyway, so that guy, then my teacher, like asked him if he was listening, like because he was on his phone. Um, so she was like, "And you're in your own world, aren't you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not really listening. Just just because the class hadn't started yet, so he was just scrolling." He was like, "Yeah, I wasn't really listening. Just on my phone." And wait, and and she was like, "Yeah, you're off in your own adventures. You don't care about this." And he like as a joke. And he was like, "Yeah, only my body's here. My soul's not really in it." And she was like, "I'm sorry." Like that was the thing that ticked her off, and I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna get ugly." Um, I didn't think it would get ugly because she's been so cool so far, but she did tell us in the beginning that she's cool up to the point where she can't be anymore. And that was really a can't be kind of sick, it can't be cool kind of situation. You can't be just nonchalant about that kind of stuff. Like, what the hell? Um, she was like, "Excuse me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just kind of here waiting for the year to end." She was like, "You know, I am your teacher at two subjects. You have five subjects. Only three of those are ones that I don't teach you. If I fail you at both of my subjects, you're staying here for another year." And he was like, "Whatever." Um, um, and she was like, how have you not how have you gotten to 12th grade?" And he was like, "Can't really fail the um because there's a stupid law in Portugal that up until ninth grade you can't fail. um and it's a fairly recent law, so a lot of kids still got held back before ninth grade. But then they stopped doing that, so those kids that got held back before, like 1 or 2 years, now they're just moving up along until they get to 10th grade, and then in 10th grade they need to start fucking working. um or they need to start getting their teachers pity, which is incredibly easy sometimes. Seriously. Um so going back to the story. um she was like, "So let me get this. And he was like, yeah, I only really come to class because if my mom finds out that I'm skipping classes, she's gonna beat me up. Um, and I was like, That's not good. But that's also not the attitude that you should, come to school with. You should at least fucking try. She was like, so let me get this straight. If I let you leave this classroom right now, and um, I don't mark you as missing, you just do it. He was like, really? She was like, yeah, you can leave this class and I won't mark you as missing. He was like, okay. And he packed his things and left. He packed his things and left. And by this time, the rest of the class had already like come into class. Um, and like as he walked out, he was like, bye peeps, or something like that. And I was like, that's the attitude? That pissed me off because I was involved in the group project. I had to justify things by myself, but at least, it would the but at least like I wouldn't feel bad for putting all the blame on him, even though it was. Um and the teacher wouldn't feel like, I feel like you're just putting the blame onto somebody else. No, because she saw it. She saw his attitude. Um it wasn't very hard to like convince someone of the truth when they had seen something close to it with their very eyes. Um, so, um, so then like everybody was presenting their final uh, the final product of the group project, and only one of the groups had a rough one. That theirs was rough, and there was another one that wasn't finished because the girl didn't come to class because she was sick, like really sick. um, so project not finished. The teacher gave them the rest of the week to finish it, and they present the thing on Monday. Um, and I was like, "Hey, teach, you mind if I like present what I have and what our plan was? Because we had a set plan and a defined plan, um, and we he just didn't bring the things so we could finish it." And she was like, "Yeah, sure, present what you have." Um, so I presented things in I used my fucking photographic memory and like my foot like basically photographic imagination. Like I can just see things exactly the way I want them to be. So I was just like using my projector eyes to like explain the thing to my classmates. I was literally seeing the thing like right next to me. I was holding it with my mind. It was like right here. Um, so I could see exactly what I was talking about. But in my mind, um, I like that I have that kind of power because I'm not always allowed to look at a PowerPoint when we're presenting stuff, and I can usually point to where things are without looking. Um, because I'm a person who cannot talk if I'm not moving my arms, as you could probably tell by now. Um, and I can't explain things without moving my arms. But some teachers, they don't allow you to look at the PowerPoint because you're not that's cheating, and you have to do the presentation like with your own words and not with the stuff that's on the PowerPoint. That's just help. That's just a visual aid for your classmates, not for you. So I can just point to stuff and know where they are without looking at them because I remember exactly what the PowerPoint looks like. But anyway, back to the thing. I was presenting it, um, and my teacher said that what she saw that we already had looked really cool, and by the way that I explained it, she thinks it would be a great idea and it will look really cool. Um, and and I managed to forget one thing, but I'll get to that when I get to that. She was like, "Okay, so um, I will give you guys a second chance, because this is a project that I really don't want you guys to have a zero on, because it's the first project and it would look really bad, you know. So instead of giving you a zero, I'm giving you a second chance. You have until next Monday to present it, and if he doesn't want to do it, if he like keeps doing this, do it by yourself. He gets a zero, and you get probably a better grade than you would if getting dragged down by him. But you have to do it with him if if he still wants the grade. And I was like, okay, I am going to bring this to him in the least appetizing way possible. I'm gonna ask him, hey, do you mind getting a zero on the project? It's not really, it's because it doesn't. It's not really a grade from 0 to 20 as you usually get. It would be more like a show of value for us. So, do you mind getting a zero? And I was like, no, I don't fucking care. I didn't even ask him. I just know that this is how he's gonna act. Like, no, I don't fucking care. I was like, cool, then you don't mind me doing the project that was supposed to be for both of us by myself. He was like, no, you do it. Um, so I'm gonna redo the project by myself. Um, as soon as I ask him, I'll ask him tomorrow, and then I can start working on it. So anyway, okay, that's bad. So anyway, the teacher gave me a second chance. She's not really very fond of giving him a second chance because like he's not really gonna take it. But anyway, she gave me a second chance. I'm gonna take it. And like, and I almost interrupted her when she was talking. I was like, oh, I literally just went, oh, and she was like, okay. What's going on? And I was like, no, keep talking, keep talking. And she was like, no, 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 you have something to say. I don't want you to forget it. Say it. I was like, yeah, okay. So I almost forgot, but this little bear that is a ghost. You see where I'm going with this? This little bear that is a ghost on the logo that I did. Yeah, that's also another reference to music on my side. This is the mascot of my favorite band, Bear Ghost. Um, and she was like, wait, is that a band that actually exists? And I was like, yes, they exist, but they're not very known, you know? She was like, is it a Portuguese band? I was like, no, no, they're American. She was like, okay. They could bring some of their music to class to listen to it in class. And I was like, yeah, sure, as if I don't already have a playlist of that. um, and I was like, yeah, sure, that'd be so cool. That'd be amazing. That would please, 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 please. I went fucking nuts. First, I get to get my art history teacher into Epic the musical. She's into it now, because then after the presentation that I did, where I talked about a painting of Cersei with There Are Other Ways in the background, she asked me like, no. Then I explained because I had to have an explanation for why I had a painting of Cersei and why I had a song in the background. So I explained, and then at the end, I put an image like of the book cover for the Cersei book. Um, so I explained that it was my way of showing that the story has been retold multiple times throughout the years because this was a painting from like the 1800s or something. Um, and I was like, uh, based on a story from ancient Greek times, um, was made a painting of one of the characters in it. Then a book was written from the perspective of one of the characters. This is a more recent book. And then Epic was made. And the Cersei saga is, Cersei and Hermes. Hermes and Jay. I love that. I always sing that when I come across one of those videos. I always sing that. I was like Hermes and Jay. um. So where was? Oh, I love the ones with the swings. I love that one. That one's awesome. Like because Hermes is like just acting so autistic in that. It's like hi, I love the swings as well. I act like that on the swings too. Less Hermes, but I act like that on the swings as well. And Jay is just, can I please stop pushing now? And Hermes like, no. I don't like people pushing me on the swings. The swings are the one time that I have control over gravity. And I don't want to lose that. I don't want someone pushing me because then you don't let me get the full. Nobody ever lets me get the full momentum. They just push me halfway up when I'm like going. The push me here. I go up here, and I'm supposed to come back up here. But people always push me halfway and they disrupt my momentum, and I go way higher when I'm not being pushed on the swings. Let me do a fucking 180 on the swings, goddammit! That is one of my life goals. I would die happy if I died doing a 180 on the swings. I was like, yeah! I died. That was me dying. Distraction. So, my day was really thrown off. But I learned that I can still write in cursive. That's cool. Yeah, I can still write in cursive. That's really cool. So yeah, my day was really thrown off when they started playing music that I didn't like. Remember, this was about that. And this is now, what is that? 33 minutes long. That's a weird YouTube upload if I ever, actually put this major fucking thing. That's off-centered. That is off-centered. So fucking close, but that is off-centered. That is off-centered. That is a really cool photo of an eclipse. But it's off-centered. And it's pissing me off. I'm trying to make it go away with my mind. It's getting more off-centered if I do this. Why? It's supposed to get blurry, and it does, but it gets worse. Go away. Go away. Go away. Build that the shoe I. I'm a professional midwife / cobbler. That is the least encouraging thing you could have said. I've been watching Denny Mata's reaction to Good Omens, and he just reacted to season 2, episode 2. And that was cool. I need to reread the Book of Bill. I need to check out the website. I need to try to produce some fucking codes, goddammit, because I read it in a day and I burned myself out from it. and I couldn't do anything else about it because at the beginning, when the thing goes, this is not a website.com.com, I was like, that's a website. It's like I'm supposed to go on that. I'm supposed to find secrets. Um, and I was like, okay, thing I'm doing after I finish this book. This is not a website.com.com. But then I read the book in a day. Not in a day, in like an afternoon. And I burned myself out from it. Because do you know how difficult it is to stare at fleshy pages for an entire afternoon? And there's a photo of the photo of tiny little baby Bill, and he's just so cute, he's adorable. Um, and he talks about his backstory, and it confirms literally everything that's been speculation so far. And it's like, yeah, sure. Also, I thought about this. I wasn't entirely sure, but I thought, yeah, Bill's in like either therapy or jail. And he's in both. He's in therapy jail. Um, Basically a psych ward. I'm gonna get canceled for calling a psych ward a therapy jail. Anyway, so yeah, this video's never getting posted. And you're never gonna find out about all this stupid shit that happened today.